Welcome to the Cadenza channel. I'm Dr. Sarah Lovigiga de Rodriguez, an international executive speaking coach and opera singer. I run my own consulting business, Cadenza, where I help experts sound interesting and authoritative.
All our videos are created by real humans, without Gen AI, using research-backed insights to help you shine at work.
Hand gestures and movements are your chance to add both style and meaning to the content of your message. Here are my top suggestions as a performer and speaker to express better with your hands while communicating. My first suggestion is to take care of your hands like you care for your face. Our body shows its wisdom over time, and it's easy to put in a skincare routine to care for the face, but in so doing, overlook the hands. Your hands are a communication tool. They do not need to look youthful, but you can put some strategies in place to keep them at their best. So here's my suggested hand care regime. When my hands feel well cared for, I feel more comfortable to move them expressively while out and about, making videos, performing, or public speaking. Although it may get more expensive, it's a really good idea to use the same products you use on your face on your hands. So moisturize, tone, serum, and always wear sun cream on your hands. I also recommend avoiding carrying weighty things on the fingers, especially if you have slender fingers like me, as it can affect the joints in the future. For this reason, I always place heavy bags on the crook of my elbow, on my arm. I try to avoid holding them in my fingers to better protect my joints. It's also good to keep your nails clean and well filed to build symmetry. If you're speaking on camera, it's advisable, just as with your makeup, to opt for a polish that could be less visually distractive. And if the colour's bright, keep it classic. Here are some colours that I think make the hands look lovely on camera. A French manicure, light pinks, clear and clean. Now let's talk about red polish. So red polish can be striking, but I prefer to place a red on my lips to bring the viewer's attention to my face rather than the hands. It's my preference. How much colour and attention do you want to bring to your hands? I prefer personally that my conversation partner or audience engage with my face and eye contact. Do you feel the same? Jewellery can also be a great finishing touch, but there is room for personal scope around this. I love to wear rings and have a soft spot for coloured gemstones. However, there is a time and place that works best for me. When I consult with my clients, wearing a large, bright stone will suck attention. I've tested this on numerous occasions, so for this reason, I more often than not opt for a classic ring that's not too visually distracting. This, of course, is my personal preference. I prefer my viewers to take in the movement of my hands to support my message so that they can focus better on my ideas rather than on my fashion. However, I have also seen many communicators wear many rings, and beautiful ones for that matter, successfully in a way that works for them. So today, it's a good chance for you to consider, what is the personal styling you wish to convey with your hands across different environments? If I'm at the opera, I will wear sparkly jewellery. But if I'm in the office, chances are it will be less ornate and less colourful, so that my clients can focus better on the instructions and strategies we're working through. People will look at your hands more when they're socially anxious, so keeping them elegant and minimising distractions at both a visual and movement level is an effective way to increase the chance that you'll achieve more attention to your facial cues and expressions, especially enabling them to meet your eye gaze more effectively, which is an important conduit to trust, rapport, and smooth social interactions. My hands communicate. For this reason, I take care of their health by avoiding UV lights and shellac or SNS salon manicures, preferring to do my own nails to avoid the fumes, dust, and skin risks of many salon treatments. I occasionally go to a manicurist for reshaping to get back on track, but I prefer, for the most part, to manicure my own nails weekly. It's an excellent chance for me to learn to sit still and be more patient, and I make it a pleasant experience by watching my favourite YouTubers, drinking tea or coffee, and taking my time. A change to my regular busy routine. Let's get into my second suggestion. If you're looking at moving your hands more expressively, watch out for repetitive movements. When we start to give more consideration to how we're using our hands to communicate expressively, it's easy to head in the wrong direction and move the hands too much. Do you move your hands too much? Maybe you've just watched a video of yourself and become concerned with flicking or rapid movements when speaking. Keep listening because now it's time to address the amount of movement the hands use. Charismatic presenters have been shown to use a higher amount of gestures than presenters seen as less charismatic. Researchers also notice an increased ratio of gesture in presidential campaigns, successful TED Talks, and venture pitches. So it's easy to assume move more and you'll look more expressive. But take care. The hands move in multiple ways, and not all movements will benefit and support your message, especially when presenting on camera. To understand what's recommended, we need to learn more about how hand gestures are characterized. In researching hand gestures and body language at large, the human interest factor in this topic makes for some detailed and heavy theories and readings. But let's keep it practical and focus on the minimum you need to know to get some positive changes. We'll look at 4 key hand movement types, and I'll provide you with some suggestions around their use. Our first type is the beat gesture. Beat gestures occur due to the rhythm of your speech. They tend to follow the pace of your syllables and are more likely to occur when a syllable is stressed. Watch this quick example. Hi, I'm Dr. Sarah Lovigiga de Rodriguez, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Did you notice how I moved my hands downwards on the strong syllables? This is a common practice among amateur presenters, performers, and speakers that increases the redundancy of your speech movements. It's better to minimize or eliminate this type of movement and focus instead on the other types of gestures that support your actual message more effectively. That aside, beat gestures can be useful to support recall of certain words or to highlight and showcase the importance of a key word. But this will lose its effectiveness if your speaking is dominated by constant hand movements of this nature. Do you move your hands too frequently and repetitively with the pace and flow of your speech? If so, you've found your goal. Working on composing your posture and calming erratic hand movements that mimic the movement of your mouth will be a useful way to reduce visual distraction for your audience. Beat gestures are commonly very rapid when speakers are faced with public speaking anxiety and can account for those rapid movements you're embarrassed by when watching yourself on video. If you'd like some more ideas on how to stop wriggling and move confidently on stage and camera, you can check this video on our channel. But now it's time to check the second hand gesture type. Iconic gestures are gestures that look in some way like what they mean. For example, if you're describing a beautiful clock, you might draw an air circle with your hands or your index finger. Or if you're speaking about a phone call, you might get out your pretend phone. Or perhaps you're a beauty influencer discussing the benefits of sheet masks. You may motion to the face as though placing the mask on your face while discussing its benefits. Air guitar is also a typical example of an iconic gesture. Iconic gestures can be useful in public speaking by creating increased stimulation of the process or item we're discussing, especially useful in storytelling, but best used in moderation for maximal effect. These types of gestures have been found to increase the recall and comprehension of your message, so they can be incredibly useful if you're describing something complex and mechanical and want to show your listeners and audience how it works so that they can tap into more visual recognition of what's happening. Let's check the third hand gesture type. Metaphoric gestures are similar to iconics, but instead they're used to convey abstract concepts. Here are some examples of how they may look. Balancing your hands like a scale to show you're weighing up the options, or moving your hands upwards to discuss progress notions, or grasping your hand while discussing notions about grasping ideas. Metaphoric gestures can be very useful tools to provide a type of theatrical visual support to the metaphors we're using. Often these types of gestures can be complementary to your message, but it's best to keep them strategic and at a minimum to avoid redundant and excessive movements. I mean, after all, you don't want your presentation to look like a liturgical or interpretive dance. Our last type of movement is an attention-seeking movement, pointers. So pointers are when you point to catch attention. Not often ideal for presenting in camera because they can be increasingly jarring on your audience. They're somewhat forceful when they register with our eye gaze. Why not instead focus on captivating voice tone and interesting messages? Gestures can be more precise and show more nuances than words, since they're actions in space and thereby provide a natural and direct mapping for representing space and action. Overall, gestures are powerful tools for thinking and communicating because they both represent and resemble. It's best to streamline your hand movement usage and find ways to be more resolute and intentional with your movements so that the hands, while expressive, best support the content of your message. Bring your audience into the view frame of your face, in particular your eye gaze, and calm their attention to focus on the critical information. If you find that you struggle to use enough gesture, consider this interesting research insight. Individuals with weak spatial visualization skills were found to gesture less than individuals with stronger skills. So this may suggest work on stage presence and body awareness on stage is necessary. We have a few more videos on how to move well on stage, camera, and in life that you might like to check in the description box below. In particular, I think you will find this one particularly useful. How to carry yourself with ideal posture for confident communication composure. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to check out other videos on our channel. I'm obsessed with helping you to express your ideas with confidence and success. What's one technique you're excited to try after today's episode? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's support each other in mastering expressive and confident communication, especially for camera and the stage. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to click like or subscribe if you want to be updated on the next episode. Ciao for now, and see you in our next video.